The rhythm of modern music is defined by the invisible architects who sit behind massive mixing consoles, turning raw emotion and street energy into the global anthems that define an entire generation. We often see the flashing lights, the sold-out stadiums, and the charismatic frontmen who capture the world's attention. Yet the true pulse of the culture is engineered in the quiet, focused sanctuary of the recording studio. In the modern landscape of hip-hop and popular culture, a select few individuals possess the rare ability to completely alter the sonic trajectory of the industry, creating signatures that are instantly recognizable from the very first second a track begins to play. When a specific tag or a unique combination of heavy bass and crisp percussion hits the airwaves, millions of listeners around the world instantly connect, unified by a sound that moves clubs, dominates streaming charts, and soundtracks the daily lives of an entire era. This is the story of an era-defining talent whose creative spark ignited some of the biggest musical moments of the late 20-teens and 20s. A visionary whose sudden and tragic departure has sent shockwaves through the global creative community, leaving fans and peers alike in a state of profound disbelief. As we begin to explore this narrative, we invite you to immerse yourself deeply in the history of modern music by subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications, ensuring you never miss our deep dives into the lives and legacies of the cultural icons who shape our world. The journey of an artist is rarely a straight line, but rather a complex tapestry woven from dedication, raw instinct, and the uncanny ability to capture lightning in a bottle when the rest of the world is looking elsewhere. To truly understand how one individual could command the respect of the industry's absolute elite before even reaching their mid-20s, we must look at the landscape of acoustic innovation and the sheer gravity of a signature style that demanded attention. The sonic signatures we take for granted today did not appear out of thin air. They were forged through countless hours of experimentation, a relentless work ethic, and a deep, foundational understanding of regional subgenres that were waiting to explode onto the global stage. It is within this realm of heavy, uncompromising bass lines and hypnotic melodies that a unique creative force emerged, bridging the gap between local street anthems and monumental stadium hits that shattered streaming records and redefined what a rap instrumental could achieve in the 21st century. The news that began circulating through official channels and social media timelines on a seemingly normal Thursday afternoon did not just signify the loss of a talented individual, but the abrupt silencing of a creative engine that was still actively pushing boundaries and setting trends across the musical spectrum. Metro Nashville Police Department took to their official communications platform to deliver a brief but devastating update that instantly halted the fast-paced news cycle of the entertainment world, shifting the collective focus to a quiet residential complex where reality had taken a somber turn. A routine welfare check, the kind often requested by concerned loved ones when communication suddenly lapses, led authorities to a heartbreaking discovery inside an apartment that served as a sanctuary for one of the most brilliant minds in contemporary production. At the tragically young age of 29, a time when most creative professionals are just entering the absolute peak of their influence and understanding of their craft, a bright light was extinguished under circumstances that remain shrouded in mystery, leaving an empty space that can never truly be filled by any successor. The initial official reports were careful to note that while the exact cause of this sudden passing remains entirely unknown pending further medical examination, investigators on the scene found no immediate signs or indicators that would suggest foul play or malicious intent. This lack of immediate explanation only serves to deepen the profound sense of sorrow and confusion surrounding the event as friends, family, and millions of dedicated listeners grapple with the harsh reality of a brilliant journey cut short without warning. The shockwaves of this announcement immediately reverberated across the digital landscape, as the global hip-hop community struggled to process how someone so vibrant, so accomplished, and so deeply embedded in the current fabric of popular music could suddenly be gone. The contrast between the high-energy, earth-shaking beats that this producer was known for and the quiet, tragic stillness of that Nashville apartment underscores the fragile nature of human existence, even for those who seem larger than life through their artistic achievements. For a young man born and raised in the rich musical soil of Tennessee, the journey to the absolute pinnacle of the global recording industry was a testament to the power of a distinct sonic identity. An identity that would eventually earn him a coveted spot on the prestigious Forbes 30 Under 30 list and the highest accolades his peers could bestow. As the world begins to process this monumental loss, we find ourselves looking backward at the incredible catalog of work left behind, a body of work that shaped the careers of megastars and elevated underground talent to mainstream prominence, proving that true genius lies in the ability to make the world dance to your specific rhythm. To fully grasp the magnitude of this loss, one must examine the monumental sonic landmarks that this young maestro, born Brytavious Lakeith Chambers, left etched into the bedrock of modern music history. Long before the world knew him by his iconic professional moniker, he was a driven kid from Memphis absorbing the gritty, energetic, and bass-heavy traditions of Tennessee rap, a regional sound that he would eventually master, modernize, and export to every corner of the globe. His rise was not a slow burn but a meteoric explosion that permanently altered the mainstream landscape in 2018. A year that will forever be remembered for a series of tracks that completely re-engineered the sound of modern radio and streaming platforms. It was during this pivotal stretch that he united with a rising star from Memphis to unleash a track so infectious, so relentless in its bounce, that it instantly caught the attention of the industry's absolute heaviest hitters, and catapulted its creators into the stratosphere of pop culture. That singular, ground-shifting track was merely the opening salvo in a series of collaborative masterpieces that would culminate in one of the most structurally ambitious and wildly successful records of the entire decade. When a global icon from Houston was constructing his magnum opus album, he sought out the raw, unpolished, yet incredibly sophisticated energy that only this Tennessee prodigy could deliver, leading to the creation of a multi-part sonic odyssey that shattered traditional song structures and became an institutional phenomenon. The track, which would eventually earn a prestigious Grammy nomination for Best Rap Song at the 61st Annual Awards Ceremony in 2019, utilized a jarring, brilliant beat switch that caught listeners entirely off guard, instantly cementing itself as a timeless masterclass in production innovation. The sheer scale of that record's success cannot be overstated, as it became a multi-platinum juggernaut, a stadium anthem that united fans across genres, and a definitive proof concept that a kid making beats in his bedroom could dictate the musical taste of the entire planet. But the young producer was far from a one-hit wonder, possesses an elite work ethic that allowed him to seamlessly transition between working with raw street lyricists and collaborating with the most recognizable pop stars in human history. His unique ability to craft heavy, hypnotic loops that provided the perfect canvas for complex vocal performances made him a favorite collaborator for a certain Canadian megastar, resulting in a string of chart-topping hits that dominated summer playlists and late-night club sets alike. Whether it was providing a relentless, driving rhythm that allowed a global superstar to showcase his unmatched flow, or crafting the intricate, bouncing framework for a historic collaborative album years later, his touch was a golden guarantee of cultural relevance. His work on a monumental collaborative project between that same Canadian titan and an Atlanta-based trap icon earned him yet another Grammy nomination in 2024, proving that his sonic formula was not a temporary trend but a lasting, evolving institution capable of dominating the highest levels of the industry year after year. The diversity of his creative portfolio extended far beyond the boundaries of traditional hip-hop, reaching to the upper echelons of pop royalty when he caught the attention of the single most influential female artist of the modern era. To be called upon by music's reigning queen to contribute to a historic live album project was a validation that few producers ever achieve in a lifetime, let alone before their 25th birthday. His production on a high-energy bonus track for that landmark release demonstrated an incredible artistic elasticity, showing that he could respect and elevate legacy rhythm and blues sounds while infusing them with the undeniable modern bounce that had become his trademark. This rare crossover appeal made him a vital bridge between different generations and genres of black music, a creator who was just as comfortable crafting a gritty club record as he was contributing to the legacy of a global pop deity. Even as the accolades accumulated, including being officially recognized as the Producer of the Year at the prestigious 2024 BMI Awards, his focus remained firmly fixed on the future, on discovering new talent, and on pushing the boundaries of his sound. A look through his final public interactions and digital footprints reveals a man who was still deeply invested in the creative process, actively championing the next wave of vibrant, high-energy artists who are currently redefining the cultural landscape. His final social media dispatches, shared just weeks before his tragic passing, were filled with the same enthusiasm that characterized his early days. As he proudly promoted a brand new collaborative track featuring some of the most outspoken and successful women leading the modern rap movement. He had also been instrumental in shaping the acoustic identity of a rising starlet whose infectious, unfiltered anthems have taken the internet by storm. Producing tracks that successfully transitioned from viral social media snippets straight into primetime television. One of his standout productions was prominently featured on the third season of a critically acclaimed, wildly popular television drama series, soundtracking the intense, visually stunning world inhabited by Hollywood's brightest young actors. This seamless integration into television and film underscored just how deeply his rhythms had penetrated the collective consciousness of contemporary youth culture, serving as the literal heartbeat for the stories, fashion, and attitudes of a generation. To see a career of such immense scope, running from underground Memphis mixtapes to the peak of Hollywood television soundtracks and Grammy red carpets cut short so abruptly is a reality that the industry is finding incredibly difficult to accept, as we are left to wonder what incredible sonic evolutions were still waiting to be unlocked inside his mind. The true measure of an artist's impact is often found in the silent space that follows their departure, a resonance that continues to vibrate through the culture they help to build, reshape, and sustain. As the musical world processes the sudden loss of Brytavious Lakeith Chambers, known universally to millions of fans and industry titans alike as Tay Keith, the conversation naturally shifts from the immediate shock of his passing to the enduring permanence of his creative legacy. At just 29 years old, he had already achieved a level of professional success that most creators spend multiple lifetimes chasing, yet his journey was fundamentally rooted in a deep, unwavering respect for the community and the regional culture that birthed his unique sound. His story is not just one of individual triumph, but a shining example of how a modern creator can leverage localized artistic traditions to completely captivate a global audience without ever losing their core identity or compromising their artistic integrity. The music industry is notorious for its fleeting trends and short memories, yet the sonic blueprints laid down by this Memphis native have proven to be remarkably durable, acting as a foundation upon which the current era of popular music continues to stand. To look at his inclusion on the prestigious Forbes 30 Under 30 music list is to understand that his achievements were recognized far beyond the inner circles of hip-hop, signaling a cross-industry acknowledgement of a young entrepreneur who had successfully turned a passion for rhythm into a cultural empire. This recognition was never about mere statistics or commercial dominance, although his chart positions and multi-platinum certifications were certainly staggering. Rather, it was about the profound way his work altered the everyday texture of the world around us. His beats were the backdrop for late-night drives, gym sessions, celebratory moments, and the collective memories of an entire generation of listeners who found a sense of power, release, and identity in the heavy thud of his bass lines and the sharp precision of his percussion. The profound grief expressed by his peers, from the underground artists he championed early in their careers to the global megastars who relied on his production to secure their biggest hits, speaks volumes about the warmth, reliability, and genius of the man behind the music. In an industry often fractured by intense competition and rapidly shifting loyalties, he stood out as a unifying force. A collaborator who approached every session with a master craftsman's focus and a fan's genuine enthusiasm for the art of creation. His journey reminds us that behind every massive cultural shift, there are real individuals pouring their lives, their energy, and their souls into the quiet work of innovation, often carrying the immense weight of an entire industry's expectations on their young shoulders. As investigators continue their quiet work to understand the circumstances surrounding that fateful Thursday afternoon in Nashville, the global community chooses to focus its attention on the immense catalog of art that remains entirely untouched by tragedy. This extensive discography serves as a living, breathing monument to a career that burned with an incredible, blinding intensity, a collection of anthems that will continue to be blasted from car speakers, played in packed arenas, and studied by aspiring producers for decades to come. The silence left in that Nashville apartment is vastly outweighed by the deafening roar of the stadium crowds that still bounce to his rhythms. A powerful reminder that while the physical journey of an artist may have a definitive and tragic conclusion, their creative spirit remains essentially immortal, We are left to celebrate a visionary who taught the entire world how to find the bounce in the chaos, an architect of sound who proved that with a laptop, a unique perspective, and a relentless work ethic, a kid from Tennessee could rewrite the rules of global pop culture. His music will continue to echo through the clubs, the airwaves, and the hearts of millions, ensuring that the name Tay Keith will forever be synonymous with the absolute pinnacle of modern musical excellence. A timeless reminder of a brilliant light that left us far too soon but gave us everything while he was here.